You're now asking everyone to leave Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Why?
I am not asking everyone to do what I did. I'm asking them to follow their conscience. If they believe that they disagree with the company, they should do what you would do in a democracy, just leave. And, just like you vote against the person you disagree with, you leave the brand or the platform or the company you disagree with. I think this is called civil disobedience. And in the digital domain, we can just leave. And I think we should do that if we disagree with the company. And I do, and that's why I left. I am not going to impose my will on other people, but I would ask other people to really think hard. Like, do they want to support a company which constantly undermines the ideologies and idea of democracy and fairness and keeps changing the rules of the game all the time? I think that is the biggest challenge. Is they're not consistent. There is a lack of ethics in that company. That's how I feel about it.
To your point, Zuckerberg has said he doesn't want Facebook to be the arbiter of truth, but Facebook does fact check certain stories, just not political speech, which some have said means Facebook is holding regular people to a different standard than their politicians. They should be holding politicians to perhaps an even higher standard. What do you think Facebook should be doing in this particular situation?
Look, I don't disagree with the fact that this is a difficult situation for whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any other social platform. I think every single platform has made their bet by betting big on making popularity and engagement as the core, cornerstone of their existence. And by doing so, they cannot make the right decisions. I think, anyone can say anything, aka freedom of speech, on their platform, but it's within Facebook's rights to promote it. And I think what they fail to recognize that they have a massive platform and they continue to, amplify the voices of, that are illogical, that are sometimes untruthful, and mostly hurtful. I think that's where they're failing to do their duty as a platform. This is not about being arbiter of truth. It's about how good a platform you are and how well do you police it. I think you and I have talked about this over the last 2.5 years. They continue to fail the job of a platform, which is to make sure that misinformation doesn't get spread. It's not about them being the censors. It's about making sure that the right information is amplified and not the bad information. And I think at times there is a lot of misinformation which is getting amplified on this platform. Just like during the elections or just before the elections, they refused to acknowledge the fact that their system was being misused by foreign powers. And I think that's the biggest challenge I have with this company.
Right. You do continue to use Twitter, which did take a stand on this particular post and a couple of the other posts. But why do you think Twitter is doing so much of a better job? I mean, certainly, if you look at Twitter, you also see misinformation. You also see things that are confusing and out of context. And the president has certainly pushed the boundaries, perhaps even beyond where Twitter has drawn the line.
Well, I think, just to be clear, I'm not letting Twitter off easy on this as well. I think they continue to miss the mark as well. I mean, I have been very consistent about that as well, that these guys actually have to do their job as a platform. The only reason I'm on Twitter is because I do believe that they are actually willing to listen and take some kind of action, if not, I'm not completely satisfied with where they're going, but at least Jack is willing to listen and take some actions. I think there is more willingness to understand and adapt, with the times at Twitter. Though, can I just also
now, I
say
do want
that
to
I've
get
reduced
your...
my time on...
Go ahead.
No, I said I've reduced my time on Twitter as well. It suffers the same problems as Facebook does.
Now, I do want to get your thoughts on the overall impact of the pandemic the health crisis, economic crisis, social crisis on the tech economy. We've seen huge companies laying off huge swaths of workers. How much do you think this will shake Silicon Valley, and what does Silicon Valley look like coming out of this?
I wrote about this very recently. I am of the belief that this is a reset and a rebirth. I don't think, people have actually understood how big a shift it is towards the tech economy. I'm even more bullish about technology and its future than I was, at the start of the year, because the pandemic is creating new behaviors and making us understand, what are these new behaviors in a very short time. I think we may see some near-term, job losses. We may see a lot of startups go out of business, but at the end of the day, technology is going to come out much more stronger, bigger, and more impactful, after this pandemic is brought under control. And at the same time, there is a moral implication which technology industry has to face, as a result of becoming more dominant, that we actually have to be thinking not just about growth and profits and constant engagement, which is what companies like Facebook do, but how do what we do impact everybody else in rest of the planet. And I think that is a conversation Silicon Valley needs to have with itself much faster than it has in the past.